Welcome back to BRMC's Healthy Connections. I'm Donna McMullen, and joining me today, Lori Day Howe, Community Outreach Coordinator for Hospice of the Ozarks. And we've been talking about the actual hospice house, all the gala event, the Float for Life, all sorts of things that have been going on. What's coming up in the future for Hospice of the Ozarks?
Well, next year we are hoping to get together some community panels, or some panels throughout the community, to go and speak to different service organizations, different churches, that type of thing. Pretty much anybody that'll give us some time. But to talk, you know, start talking about end-of-life care and end-of-life care planning. You know, it's one of those things that I think people think, oh, well, I need to think about that when I'm 70 or when I'm 80. You know, the reality of it is we all need to think about it. I was widowed at 31, and you don't think about those things when you're 31. And so just to get out there to talk with some people, to talk with people about advanced directives, living wills, estate planning, you know, just anything that we can do to kind of get the topic out there and get to talking. And then also to talk about hospice care. You know, one of the things that I hear when I'm talking to people and when I'm out in the community or when we get surveys back from families, one of the things they say is, I wish I would have known about hospice sooner. I wish I would have got y'all into the home sooner for my loved one. And I think that that's something we need to start talking about, is educating people about when hospice is appropriate. You know, I mean, it's not just about those very final days or those very final hours. We can offer services for months in advance. Right.
Isn't it normally with hospice based on the doctor's recommendation?
It is.
6 months,
That's Medicare guidelines. They look at a life-limiting illness of 6 months or less. But you know, there is no magic number. If a patient lives beyond 6 months, then they certainly, as long as they meet that criteria, not seeking aggressive treatment type thing to prolong life, then yes, we can still continue on. But Medicare does look at a 6 month window as kind of their guideline, physician's order. But we also want to talk to people and to talk to family members about, you can ask, you know, if you feel like that this may be the right decision for you and that you're at that point, to be able to have the information to go to your physician and have that discussion and see if they agree and if they are willing to write that order.
And you mentioned also, too, hospice in the home.
Absolutely.
This is something a lot of people don't understand as well. So can you elaborate on that just a little bit more?
You know, under hospice care, we have 2 service lines with Hospice of the Ozarks. We have Hospice House that we talked about just a little bit ago, and then we have Hospice at Home services, which is wherever that patient may be, whether it be the nursing home, a private home, assisted living, wherever that patient calls home, we can provide services there. You know, that comfort measure, social work, whenever they may need.
So whatever it is that they need.
Yes.
What else is going on? Anything else you've got? Talk to me about, there's a program I was real interested in because I was involved with this particular Eden project, it was called, many years ago. And this was a project about when someone comes to hospice, they can bring their pets with them.
We are pet friendly. There's a program that we have called Pet Peace of Mind, and it is a grant that we have right now, and it provides care for a patient's pet. Now, my grandparents have 2 pets that are their children, and so as they age, should something happen to them, they have family that they can go to. But you know, some of our patients don't have that, and some of our families don't have that. And those pets mean the world. Absolutely.
You bet.
So we have a program that we can work with them to make sure that we have care for that pet after they pass, but we can also help provide care while the patient is with us. You know, oftentimes the caregiver or the family, they're occupied with making sure the needs of that patient are met and caring for that patient. So with the Pet Peace of Mind program, we can kind of step in and through the help of volunteers, get those pets to the groomers, get them to the vet's office, make sure they have what they need. Just relieve one more stress off that family. And what a comfort to know
You bet.
my pet's being cared for while I'm being cared for.
Right.
So just kind of that holistic.
Takes all of that emotional anxiety and stress away. Yeah.
So it's really neat, and it's neat to see our volunteers come in with the pet crates and things like that.
Yeah.
And, so it is. It's just, you know, it's one more thing that we are able to provide to make sure that a patient's needs are being met. So
I've heard of and been part of great success with programs that are involving animals. And at first I was a little skeptical, and there was a lot of things about, oh, the germs or the this or that. And it's all under state guidelines. It's all very well, all the rules and regulations you must adhere to are in there. And what a comfort it is, not only to the patient, but oftentimes I remember I was visiting a patient, and a cat was on the foot of her bed, curled up by her feet, sound asleep. And I kept thinking, gee, to the best of my recollection, I don't think she even likes pets. And so I asked her, I said, are you okay with that? And she said, oh, yeah. She says, I'm not a real big cat fan. And I said, well, did you want me to take him away? Oh, not that cat. He's fine right where he is.
That's really not a cat. That's my child.
So, I mean, it's just amusing that
it is.
And comforting. So.
It is. It's something special and something that I'm so proud that we're able to do and offer. And I think it's very much a value to our patients and their families. So,
talk to us about that very, very special staff that's at Hospice House.
One of my favorite things, you know, from the first day that I started, it was a family, and a very unique family. I'm the new person, so, you know, I'm just learning everyone.
New kid on the block, so.
I am. You know, we're blessed with the staff that have been there. Several of them have been there quite a few years, and have just such a heart for hospice and what they do. Some specialized training, absolutely. You know, they go through an intensive training process to make sure that they understand the disease process and what's going on with patients, and under, you know, with another nurse or another staff member. Our social workers have special training in bereavement, and they offer the bereavement support groups and the follow-up for families after their loved one passes.
And that continues on for almost a year, doesn't it?
It does, 13 months.
13 months after someone.
After the passing. But, you know, I mean, more than anything, I know our staff are very well trained and stuff, but they just have a heart for it. You know, hospice is not one of those things that you walk into and you do because there's an opening.
Yeah, it's not a job.
No, it's not.
It's a vocation.
It's a way of life for someone, and
Sure.
it's because not everyone feels comfortable in a room with someone who's fixing to pass or with a family. And we have some staff that they can sit with you and cry if they need to, and if you need them to. And we also have staff that will rejoice with you when you're having a good day and you're able to be out and about and living life.
Yeah.
So, you know, people who genuinely want to do what they're doing.
And then support each other, because they become like family as well.
We do.
So.
And we have a meeting every morning at 8 a.m. and we'll have meetings sometimes where there's probably not a dry eye in a room.
It's time to cry. You
and
bet.
then we also have meetings where somebody will report that, you know, this patient was able to go celebrate their 50th anniversary with their family, and to know what that means, that they were able to do that and that we're able to be a part of that. So it's very much a mixed bag of blessings, any way you look at it. So,
and I know there are many stories that especially the 5 years over at Hospice House, of going way above and beyond, bringing family members in, and I know the staff has gone and picked them up, brought them in, created these special celebrations at the Hospice House or outside of it, whatever the desires and wishes are of the person who's ill.
It is, and you know, I think hospice has a rap for just being into life, but it's about living that life to the fullest, to the end, and however that is for a patient and their family. You know, it really is a focus on quality versus quantity for most people, but about making sure that they have the
what
fullest
they,
that they can while they can.
I know you just you grant those wishes left and right at the hospice.
I see it every day, you know, through the volunteers, through people that support us, and through our staff members every day in different ways.
Sure. Well, have we covered everything we possibly can about hospice? at
Oh,
the
I could
Ozarks
talk
today?
for much, much longer. So,
Well, we know, number one, we hope that everyone gets back from the Float for Life, the one boat that's
Absolutely.
left,
Yes,
gets
yes, yes,
back
yes.
safe and sound. They should be back today.
this afternoon,
All
yes.
right. And let's see, I think we've talked about the gala for next year. You'd said maybe doing something a little different.
We are. We're looking at just changing some things up a little bit to some new ideas and
And that always attracts people. I mean, they love going to Big Creek and the silent auctions and the wonderful food and
yes,
all of
our
that.
chefs.
Yeah, but it's always just a great idea to put a little spin on it.
It is.
So
It is. And just some new ideas. And then,
we call it marketing mist.
but, you know, and then if anybody would like for us to come talk, like I said, we're going to do a panel with Dr. Williams and some local attorneys here in town to really, to get the discussion started with people about end-of-life care and what they can do now that may take some stress off of the end.
Themselves
Right.
and their families. So sure. How can someone reach you, Miss Lori?
508-1771 is the office number, and just give me a call and we'll set something up. So,
All right. Joining me today has been Lori Day Howe, Community Outreach Coordinator for Hospice of the Ozarks. We want to thank you for joining us, Lori.
Thank you.
You so much for being here. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Donna.
Uh-huh.